This is an amazing story of how I ended up getting my ticket to Awesomeness Fest this year. It was a miracle beyond miracles and absolutely the most magical thing that's ever happened in my life, and one of the moments that really crystallized and catalyzed for me that when I hold a pure intent of this is what I'm doing from a place of gratitude, that is the most powerful energy stream in the whole planet, and that the processing, the internal work that happens in order to get out of your own way to have that dream come true is the most important thing that you can possibly do on this planet, and that happiness and joy along the way in that process is the magic sauce, the awesome sauce that has dreams come true. So without further ado, here is the story, the very exuberant and excited and mind-boggling story of how I got my ticket at Awesomeness Fest this year. So I've just moved into a new house, and what that means is that the local Balinese want a copy of your passport in order to report it to the police, so that if anything bad happens to you, they know at least where you're living and how to get a hold of somebody back home. And so it's it's 8 a.m. the day before I leave on this trip, and the cleaning lady comes in and she says, oh, and I need a copy of your passport. So I hand her my passport, not even thinking that I'm going to Malaysia tomorrow. Doesn't even cross my mind, because I'm like, oh, that's tomorrow. Don't even worry about it. Okay. So fast forward to that evening, I'm meeting up with some friends for dinner, and before I go for dinner, I'm like, oh, I'll pack my bag. I'm really excited. This is like, I'm going for a one-day trip. I don't even know, like, I've never in my life just gone for like a one-day flight on a plane for an adventure, so I'm pretty excited. And I'm like, and I get to pack a really, really small bag because I just need stuff for tomorrow. I don't need stuff for the next 6 months. I don't need stuff for like a couple of weeks. I just need stuff for tomorrow. What do I need? Oh, some vegetables, some fruit, no big deal. Pack, pack, pack. Maybe a sweater, maybe not, what do I need? I'm like, and I need my passports with the cleaning lady. Oh no! And I'm like instantly in this place of panic. Like, I'm flying to Malaysia tomorrow, but I can't hop on this flight unless I have my passport. Like, I'm like, maybe ID will work. I'm like, ID will not work. You need a passport to travel internationally. And I've just finished reading this Busting Loose from the Money Game book, and they give an example in this book of this woman passing her, like, losing her passport, and all of the power and the fear and the out of control and not having power over your external environment that comes along with passports. We have a lot of energy wrapped up in that. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So I do my process. I work through it. I feel the fear of, like, I'm not going to be able to go to Malaysia. None of this is going to happen. Blah. I'm distraught. I bring it to presence. And then I bring in my highest source, my energy, and claim the power back from that illusion. I still need my passport. I feel better about it. And I'm like, it'll all work out. But I still need my passport. So I sent a message to my landlord, who's got my cleaning lady's number. I have her name and her phone number, but I don't have an Indonesian cell at this point, so I can't even call her. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. I walk up the hill a little bit and knock on some neighbors' doors. Do you know where Desar lives? Do you know where Desar lives? Oh, she lives right here. But she's in Ubud right now. And I'm like, excited? Oh, no. Integrate. Okay, so in between their broken English and my non-existent Indonesian, I think I communicate, like, she has my passport. I'm going on a trip tomorrow. I need it back. In this moment, I asked two neighbors. They both say they'll check with her, and my landlord said that he'll check. I've covered all the bases I can cover at this point. Like, there's nothing else I can do. So I'm feeling this unease, and I'm processing this unease as much as I can, and I go out for dinner with my friend. I arrive pretty scattered, and we have dinner, and he's kind of like, yeah, you need to go home and sort this out. And as I'm approaching the house, I'm like, please let my passport be on the thing. Please let my passport be on the thing. Please let my passport be on the thing. There's no real guarantee that it's going to be there, but there is this really deep sense of trust that my passport will be there. So I walk in the kitchen door. I'm so, like, just on edge. Before I even round the corner into the kitchen, before I even go any further deeper in, I spend time processing this disease, because I know that it's really difficult for things to show up in a positive way in my life when I'm actively freaked out about it. So I know that walking around that corner, I need to be in a good feeling space. So I bring myself into a good feeling space, do the joygasm process, and then I walk around the corner, and there is my passport sitting on the table. I'm just like, oh my God, I am so blessed. Thank you, 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 thank you. And just celebrate, 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 celebrate it to the fullest, and then integrate that and be like, oh yeah, and things always work out for me. And I knew it would be here, and I knew it was gonna work out. Thank you so much. So the night goes on, and I ended up talking with a friend who's going through a rough breakup for probably about 2 hours, supporting her through that. All of a sudden, it's 2:30 in the morning. I'm supposed to leave to catch my, well, I'm driving myself to the airport on my motorbike, which I've only been driving for like a week and a half at this point. And so it's 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh, it's too late to go to bed. If I go to bed, I'm going to maybe not wake up and miss my flight. So I'm just going to stay up. I stay up, I work on a couple of things, and then it's 4:30 in the morning. And I'm like, oh shit, I should have left at 4 o'clock. So at this point, I'm running about half an hour late, and I still don't have a local Indonesian SIM for my phone. So I have access to Wi-Fi. So I pull up the map on my phone of like, this is where you're going. Except I don't have GPS signal, so it's just a line on a map, and it's mostly a straight line, but there's a couple of turns, and part of me is like, are you like, why didn't you get your GPS, your SIM card thing sorted out before this trip, Elena? You know, like, Jesus. And they're like, you know what? I know I'm going there, and I know that this is going to be a blessed journey, and I am so excited. I'm just going to hop on my bike and trust that this is going to work. And part of my brain's like, yep, yep, yep. I'm like, I'm going to process you because you show up in all sorts of different places in my life. So I spent a couple moments doing process on that, get my bike, get my bag, got my passport. Yes, got my passport. Use that as fuel. And I hop on my bike, and I'm like, okay, I'm going this way. I know which way to start going. So I hop on my bike, and I'm like, get your motor running. Get out on the highway, looking for adventure. And whatever comes our way, you know, I'm like, I'm having fun. And I've only ever driven within Ubud city at this point, and so I've only really ever gone like 40K an hour on this bike. And now I know I'm late, and my phone told me it was going to be about an hour, and it's like an hour and a half before my flight leaves, which does not give me much time to go through customs, etc., etc. So I'm like booking it. I'm going like 90, 95 on this bike. It's middle of the night, so there's nobody on the roads, thank God. And I'm booking it. So probably for about the first 20, 25 minutes, I'm just like stoked. I'm super excited. I'm going. I'm like, yeah, singing a song. Like, I'm going to Mind Valley. I'm going to Mind Valley. Yeah, I'm like seeing myself sitting in the lobby, just like so excited. And then all of a sudden these like doubts start to creep in. And I'm just like, are you serious? Like, you don't even know where you're going. And I'm like, it's okay, it's a straight line. So I'm like, continue on my straight line. And then I hit my first intersection where I'm supposed to go left or right, and I'm not really sure. And I stop, and I pull up my map, and I'm like, you know, scrolling in, zooming in. I'm like, according to the map, I turned right. Okay, so I turn right. And I keep driving, and I'm driving fast. It's mostly a straight line. And so I'm like, yeah, straight line from here to the airport, gonna keep going. In Canada, we have these like signs that have like a little picture of an airplane and an arrow pointing that way. And for some reason, my like Canadian brain sort of assumed that from close to Ubud, there would be these signs that said, go this way. This is the way that you're supposed to go to get to the airport. And it's like, there weren't any signs. There weren't any signs for anything at any of the intersections, really. Like some, but nothing that said airport, nothing that said this way. You know, there's signs for Depensar, there's signs for Kuta, and I'm like, I don't even really know. Like, I know the airport's in Depensar, but maybe it's in Kuta. I'm not sure. So I'm just like, oh my God. And these doubts start to creep in. And I'm like, I know that doubt is a really powerful energy source, and if I'm freaking out while I'm going on this unknown adventure, it's going to cause, I'm going to take the wrong turn. I'm going to be in this space of doubt and unsurety, and I'm going to take the wrong turn. So it's like, okay, re-anchor into the vision, re-anchor into me sitting in the office at Malaysia re-anchor into the vision of me sitting on the plane, like, yeah, I've got my ticket. I'm like, I'm here, going to Malaysia, man. So I hold that for a while, and truly, like, I was holding it fairly well, but this doubt starts creeping in, and this doubt starts creeping in, and I'm like, this is a sketchy mental, emotional space, not to mention physical situation for me to be actually getting on that plane. Like, wow. So I start doing mantra, because mantra is such a beautiful place to start from. It's such a beautiful place to find strength from. So I start doing Jai Jai Ganesha, victory, victory to the remover of obstacles. Jai Jai Ganesha, Ganesha, Ganesha. Jai Jai Ganesha, Ganesha, Ganesha. So I've gone from get your motor running to dear God, please get me there on time. You know, and there is this space of desperation, and I'm doing my emotional processing while I'm on this journey. You know, like I can feel the sense of lack of power over time. I can feel the sense of lack of power over, like, I'm stupid, I should have left earlier. Like, all of these stories popping up into my space. I say, no, you don't have power over me in this moment. You don't have power over me. I'm going to continue, and I'm going to get there. I come to an intersection. There's a couple of, it's getting a little bit earlier, it's like 5 something now, and there's a couple of people at the intersection, so I wave to them, I'm like, airport, that way, you know, pointing the direction that I'm going, and they go, yeah, that way. In the back of my mind, there's this story that somebody told me about Balinese people, where they will save face for both of you by giving you an answer, not necessarily the right answer, but an answer, so that they don't have to say no, they don't know, or no, they're not sure. And I'm just like, okay, so I'm getting confirmation. This confirmation might not be true. And I'm in this space of sort of like doubt of my own truth, doubt of my GPS line, doubt of the people around me. Removing. I probably did like half an hour of mantra. And I continue. Every intersection I ask people, is it this way? Is it this way? I'm not sure. I'm beginning to get quite a bit perturbed. It starts raining, and I'm like, and I'm going 90 km an hour, so the rain is like spitfiring on my body, and just like, ow, that hurts, you know. I gotta wipe the visor on my mask, which is kind of gray, and like I can only sort of see. I'm like, this is so sketchy. This is so sketchy. So sketchy. Eventually it stops raining, and I come up to an intersection, and I look at a stop, and I open up my map, and I look, and you know that little dot tells you where you're at on the map? It's not telling me jack all. It says I'm still in Ubud. Okay, based on the turns I've taken at this point, like, I'm pretty sure I should be going this way. And I take a left-hand turn. And I drive left for probably about 5-10 minutes, and this intense sensation comes over me of like, I made a wrong turn. This is not the right way to be going. I made a wrong turn. So I stop, I pull out the map, and lo and behold, on my map is a little dot that's blue and looks like it's updated. It's no longer in Ubud, and it says, yeah, you're, you know, 2K, 3K, whatever it is, to the left. At that last intersection, you should have gone right instead of left. Go back. And part of me is like, whoa, what just happened? Like, my GPS has no signal to go off of. And yet, in this moment of not being sure and like having this gut feeling of I didn't go the right way, it somehow popped up and gave me the information. This is not the first time in my time in Ubud that my GPS has worked, even though it really shouldn't. And so I just really trusted that feeling and that feedback that I'd been getting from the outside world. And I turned around. And as soon as I turned around, there was this sense of relief and sort of wonderment and trust. And I was like, okay, I'm going to turn left at that next intersection instead of, like, I should have gone straight instead of turning. And so I go back and I catch back on. I'm still really freaked out inside of me. And I'm like, don't be in that place of freak out. Find that place of like calm certainty where you know that you're going to get there. And I'm trying and I'm trying and I just can't, you know, like, so I continue doing mantra. And eventually I get to an intersection and there's a taxi cab next to me. And I tap on the window of the taxi cab and the cab driver rolls down the window and I go, airports? And he goes, we're going to the airport. You follow us. Oh, the relief that I felt in that moment, because now I knew that for sure, even though I was running probably later than I needed to run, I knew for sure in that moment, at least I was going to get to the airport. And I slowed down. I'm not driving fast paced. I'm not zipping in and out of traffic anymore. I'm just slowly following this cab. And as I'm doing this, the relief that's flooding into my brain, I'm really soaking up, like, this is the feeling space that I needed to be in before this moment happened. This is the feeling space of like, yes. And I'm programming that place of relief into my brain, and I'm overlaying it on top of my fear that I might not catch my flight. I might even get to the airport, but I might not catch my flight. Overlaying it on top of those fears and being like, no, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. In the head office, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. Expressing gratitude, expressing gratitude. So I'm just following the cab. And, and as I'm following him, there's this flash of insight that comes to me that happens in those moments of relief. And I was like, this is a fantastic for why people hire coaches. And I understood really deeply into the core of my being in that moment that this is why people hire coaches, for this feeling of relief. Because that whole journey, I saw it in that moment as a metaphor for the entrepreneurial journey. This piece of like an idea sparks you and you're excited and you're like, yeah, get your motor running, and you're going for it. And then slowly over time, this doubt of the human experience of like things maybe not working out as well as you think they might seep in, and we give them power and we're unable to remove them. And so we lose sight of the truth and the clarity of that vision that was given to us from a divine space. And in that moment, when we meet somebody who says, yes, I know where you're going, all you have to do is follow me and I will take you there, that is the coaching experience. That is the coaching moment. That is the moment where you know and you trust that you will get there, that it will happen. And this is a powerful, powerful moment. And I'd walked around with this sort of like confusion, doubt of like, why exactly do people hire coaches? And in this moment, like, I understood it so fully. And I was so grateful for the experience of fear, for this experience of understanding why people do this. So I get to the airport. Turns out my flight has been delayed by about 30 minutes, which is exactly the amount of time that I need to actually get to my gate, go through customs, etc., etc. And I'm so grateful that my flight has been delayed by this much. Hop on the plane, hop off the plane in Malaysia, and realize that I have no idea how to get from the airport to the head office. I haven't looked at it, I haven't Googled it, I haven't done any research, and I still don't have internet connection. So I wander over and I find the nearest like hotspot and connect to it. And I do a little Google search, Kuala Lumpur Airport to Mind Valley, and there it is. There is, it's on a little map. Cool. Okay, one train station, or one long train, one train station, and a 20-minute walk. I can do that. I have the information that I need now. There's this piece in my mind of like, okay, but you did this last time with the GPS and it was a little sketchy. And I'm like, you know what? I faced that fear. I don't need to have that fear in there anymore. Now we are just going forward and we're going to do this and it's going to be amazing. Okay. So hop on the train, have a fantastic chat with some girls. Oh, the girl from the bathroom in the Singapore or in the Bali airport was on the train with me. So we chatted. It's beautiful. Kuala Lumpur is a big old city, and it's full of apartment buildings that are like molding on the outside and laundry hanging out everywhere. And my inner self that thought that one day I might move to Kuala Lumpur and work from Mind Valley is kind of like, I can't live in a city like this. I'm living in the middle of the jungle right now. That makes my heart really happy. I can't live like this. It's like, and it's a day where they're burning the palm fields, and so the city is just cloaked in this smog to the point where you can barely see things that are more than 150 feet away. It's really smoggy. Somebody says it's one of the worst days they've had in a long time, and I just sort of wonder at it all. So I finally get to the train. It's about a half hour. Excuse me. It's about a half hour, and I get to the train station. I'm like, okay, cool. 20-minute walk from here. As we're coming into the train station, I've looked around and I'm like, I don't know about this walk. Like, there's a bunch of different highways and different pieces, and it's kind of windy, turvy walk. I'm like, maybe there's an easier way. I look at the map again, and I'm like, I remember hearing Vishen say in one of his talks that there was a metro station attached to the head office. I have this like really clearly ingrained in my brain, and so I'm like, oh, okay. And I look on my little Google map, and there's one train station from here to there. So I go through the metro station, and kind of like, okay, everything's not in English, and I don't really know where I'm going, but I'll figure it out. So I look through all the different. There's like it's the KL Central, so it's like the central train hub, and I'm like, okay, there's like 8 train lines that go from here. Make sure you hop on the right one. So I've got the one. I'm like, this is the one. I ask a couple people, everything's good. Pay for my train. It's like 30 cents or maybe $1 or something like that. And hop on the train, one station, hop off. There's a Melaleuca store there. I'm like, oh, I must be in the right zone. You know, it's just this like happy little conscious, good for the planet, like little nexus. And I'm really expecting that I will see a big sign that says Mind Valley with the logo. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping there'll be a big sign that says Mind Valley. I'll be like, cool, this building, and I'll walk into it. So I walk out of the train station, wander around, and I'm looking for this big sign. The train station's attached to these 2 towers, these 2 office towers, and I'm not seeing a sign anywhere. And I look at my map again. I'm like, okay, it says it's close to the 7-Eleven. I look across the street. There's a 7-Eleven. I'm like, that's a good sign. Cool, okay. So I haven't seen them in the building. I'm like, maybe they're in the upstairs floors of the building. So I go and check out the directories for both of the buildings, and I don't see anything. I search for Mind Valley. I don't see anything. I'm like, okay. I know I'm going to get there, though. At this point, like, I made it on the train. I made it on the plane. I found my passport. Like, I've got this. You know, like, I didn't die on my bike. My helmet flew off on my bike. I forgot to tell that part. Oh, my gosh. In that piece where I'm like saying the mantra and I'm scared and I'm in this fearful place, the wind is like catching my helmet, and the clasp on my helmet's not the best. It's like, it's just the one that came with the rental bike. And so I can feel the aerodynamic forces like catching the helmet and kind of like pulling it up. And I'm going 90 km an hour. So I gotta like push it back on, but I can't really let go of the handlebars. Stopped and like tied it back on a little bit better, and as like I can feel the fear rising in that experience, and I'm just like, no, trust it, put your head down a little bit, make sure the air pushes this way. And there was this moment where I'm driving like as fast as I can, try to get there, and then all of a sudden, whew, I'm not wearing my helmet anymore. My helmet went flying off into the distance onto the street. So part of me considered not going and getting it. I was like, no, go get it. And so I go back, turn around, go back. I'm driving the wrong way down a one-way street, and which is not abnormal in Bali. It's true. There's nobody on the streets. It's okay. Anyway, I go back. My helmet's landed nicely, neatly, like upright on the far side of the road, like to the side of the road. So I pick up my helmet, tie it on as best I can, put it back on. I'm like, okay, I recognize that my fear created that experience. I recognize that, and I don't need to be fearful anymore. I'm just going to make sure this helmet stays on my head, tie my hair up, and use it to like sort of press the helmet onto my head a little bit better. And it was fine for the rest of the journey. So the reason I just retold that story is A, because I forgot it, and it was a crazy part of the experience, but B, because I had had so many of these experiences along the way that said, oh, I'm scared. And I'm like, hold the vision, Elena. Hold the vision. Do not let fear enter into this equation. Fear has power, and it will take you off track if you give it power. Don't give it power. So now I'm at the bottom of this building, and I'm like, I know it's attached to the train line. I'm pretty sure it's here. The little Google map says, yes, it's here. So I walk outside. I go ask at a bar. It's like a restaurant that's open. I'm like, do you know where Mind Valley is? He goes, oh, yeah, it's one train station down. I'm like, oh, you got my train stations wrong. So I go back to the train, hop on the train, go to the next train station, and I look around, and I'm like, it is not here. It is at the last one. I know it. I can feel it in my body that this is not where I'm going. This is not the space. You know, and I look on my little Google map, and it's like Mid Valley. Mid Valley is a shopping mall, one train station up. And of course, when I said Mind Valley, that's what he thought he was looking for. So he sent me on this chase. I'm like, okay. So I pay for the train, head back, arrive at this train station, and I was like, this is the place. I can feel it. I know this is the place. I know it. And so I go back and I look around. I'm like, how am I going to find this place? Really, like, how am I going to find this place? I'm like, but you know you're going to get there. So just wait a minute. And I wait and I wait. And then all of a sudden, this short blonde girl walks across the street. And I'm like, she's going to be able to tell me where Mind Valley is. I bet you she works there. So I walk up to her. She's doing something at a counter. So I'm like, excuse me, do you know where Mind Valley is? She looks at me and kind of laughs. She's like, yeah, I work there. It's in that building back there, Tower A, this floor. And there's a huge part of me inside that is like leaping for joy at this point. I'm like, can I give you a hug? Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. She's like, do you have an appointment? I'm like, no. She's like, you might need an appointment. I'm like, oh, okay. Didn't even occur to me. Appointment? What is this appointment you speak of, right? Maybe I should have got an appointment. I'm like, does not matter. I don't need to talk to anybody specific. I'm just there to express gratitude. So, before I head back across the street, now I know for sure I'm going to get into this building. I know where the office is. It's on this floor. And I know that it's in this tower. I know that it's in this floor. And I know for sure that I'm going to be able to get in. So I stop and have some little like street food and just sit there and relish and enjoy the change in feeling, the space of like, yeah, this is a done deal, baby. This is a super, super, super done deal. Yeah. Okay, so I eat my snack. I watch a couple other people. There's a couple other like blondies coming into the building. I'm like, bet you they work at Mind Valley too. You can just feel it oozing off of them, right? There's this vibe of like those peeps. Those peeps are my peeps. This is the shiny. There's some Indonesian or Malaysian or Indian people as well, and they just have this different flavor to them. And I'm like, those are my peeps. I can tell. You know, it's a really interesting experience. And people ask me about like how do you say? I always say follow the shiny people. This is a really classic example of following the shiny people and having it pay off. So eventually I'm ready. And I cross the street and I go into the building and I go into the hall and there's this like security checkpoint where, you know, you work in the building, you got a key card. I'm like, I don't have a key card. How's this gonna go? So there's a visitor's piece. There's a couple security like people instead of just the pass. And I go, hello, like where are you going? And I was like, oh, I'm going to Mind Valley. They're like, ah, fantastic. Do you have an appointment? Yes, I have an appointment. I'm like, if I tell them the truth, they might not let me up. And that is not going to be in this moment because I do have an appointment. I have an appointment with my soul to show up in this building. I have an appointment with everybody who's going to be there, who's going to feel the gratitude and the love and the appreciation that I express. It's like, yes, I freaking have an appointment. She takes my passport as ID, gives me my passport back, gives me gives me a visitor's pass. I'm like, sweet! Visitor's pass. Hop in the elevator, punch the button for the floor. Oh my God, am I excited. I am so excited, like beyond excited at this point. I'm just like, oh my God, dreams come true. I've been following Mind Valley for 5 years at this point, and I've like just loved, I've bought quite a few of their programs, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to the den of my heroes. I get to the top of the elevator, left or right? I'm like, right. Okay. So I head to the right, and sure enough, halfway down the hall, there is the famed logo, the famed piece. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this moment for ages. I'm so excited. And there is, you know, I look through the glass door, and there is the backdrop that so many of those videos are filmed against. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm here. I go to open the door. It's locked. I'm like, oh, well, I'm here. Cool. I'm kind of like, how do I get into this building? I look and there's a little like card reader type thing. So I like put my visitor's pass in front of it. I was like, Visitor's pass? He's like, open the door. Like, no, not happening. And I look a little bit closer. I'm like, thumbprint reader. Fuck. That I know I'm not going to be able to forge. What am I going to do? Like, you know what? I don't even care. I'm here. So many things have conspired and worked to get me here in this moment. Sweet. So excited. I like open my eyes a little bit more. I'm like, oh, there's somebody on their laptop in the foyer. So I like on the glass window, and he kind of looks up and is like, comes over and opens the door. He's like, come on in. I'm like, thanks. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Can I help you? He says quite simply. And I launch into the piece that, for brevity's sake, I'm going to call my joyful expression of intent, which is, hi, my name's Elena. Can I give you a hug? I'm so excited to be here. I love Mind Valley. I just came to sit in the lobby and express my appreciation as much as I possibly can to as many people who work here, to just tell them thank you for making such a huge impact in my life. And he looks at me, he's like, do you have an appointment? I'm like, no, I don't have an appointment. I just want to sit in the lobby and express my gratitude as much as possible. He's like, hold on a minute. I'll go ask somebody. So I sit down in the lobby and I'm like, oh my god, I'm sitting in the lobby. I'm so excited. And as I'm sitting there, I hear this voice coming through the wall. And I know this voice intensely, immensely. It's Vishen's voice. I've heard it on a million zillion videos that have inspired me so much. I'm like, that's Vishen. I'm like, oh my god, Vishen is sitting in the next room in a meeting with people. Oh my god, I can't even believe it. This is so exciting. And I move into this place of like hyper crazy excitement where my body is almost going into shock. Because I'm so excited. Like, I'm losing coherence. I'm losing ability. Like, speaking ability is, like, going away. And I'm just like, oh my god! And there's part of me that's like, hold on. Integrate. Somebody comes back into this room, you're going to have to be able to speak coherently to them. And as fantastic and crazy as this experience is, the most powerful thing you can do right now is make it a normal experience. Normalize this. Normalize that your dream has just come true. Normalize that Vishen is in the next room speaking. Normalize all of this, that you're sitting in the lobby like you asked for. Normalize it. And so I do the reverse of what I normally do with my process, which is I let that energy flux into the beautiful, amazing highness, and I bring it back down into a calm space. So I'm calm now. I'm excited as all get up, but I'm also calm. And this woman comes into the room. She goes, hi, do you have an appointment? I'm like, no, I don't have an appointment. My name's Elena. I'm so excited. I'm just here to be in the lobby and express my appreciation as much as I possibly can to everybody who works here because I'm so excited. And you can see that she is physically incredibly uncomfortable with me. She's so, like, it's just oozing out of her pores that she is so uncomfortable. And so I acknowledge this. I'm like, I know that this might seem a little bit strange. I'm totally harmless. It feels to me like you're very uncomfortable right now. And I just want you to know that truly, I don't need anybody to do anything or express anything or take care of me anyway. I just want to sit in the lobby and soak up the vibe of this space for the next 6 hours. And she's like, 6 hours? I'm like, well, I'm coming for a visa run. I'll just be here for a little bit. Like, my flight leaves at 8 p.m. She's like, oh, because, I mean, you could book an appointment for maybe Monday or Tuesday. I was like, I don't know when the next time I'm going to be back in Malaysia is, but I do know that I'm here today to be in this building and that I'm really excited about it. She goes, well, you know, you really need an appointment. It's Friday afternoon. We're wrapping up some meetings. There's not really anybody who has time to show you around. If you had gone through proper channels, we would have been able to welcome you properly, but you didn't. And so I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And at this point, there's part of me that's just like, no, I don't want to leave. I came here for this. It's like, whew, bring it back. Restate my purpose and intent. I'm here to express gratitude. Can I just sit in the lobby? She goes, no, you can't just sit in the lobby. You have to go. Part of me's sad. Part of me really respects the office that I'm in, and so I respect the rules that they have. And part of me knows that this journey is not yet finished. So I ask her one more time, just because I couldn't help not. And she goes, no, you need to go. I'm like, can I sit outside the front door? She goes, no, you can't sit outside the front door. I'm going to have to ask you to leave the building. I'm like, Okay, well, if you change your mind, I'll be sitting in the coffee shop in the basement, or on the main floor, probably until about 6:30. And if you change your mind, you can come down and get me, and I'd be happy to come sit in the lobby or anywhere that anybody would take me. She kind of looks at me like, there's lots of fun things to do in KL. Go check out this, that, or the other thing. She gives me a couple options. I'm like, you don't understand. My pure intent in this experience is to express my gratitude for the people here and to be in the space and soak up the vibe as much as I possibly can. And she just, she very politely and very kindly like walks me to the door and asks me to leave. I'm standing outside the door, and part of me is like, what am I gonna do for the next 6 hours? It's 6 hours until I hop back on my plane. The pure intent I had was to come here and just spend time in the lobby, and looks like that's not gonna happen. As I'm standing there, a couple of people leave the building, like a couple of people who work there, and I'm like, oh, people who work at Mind Valley. That's the closest I'm going to get at this point. So I walk with them to the elevator and I introduce myself and start having a conversation with this guy. It turns out he's only worked there for about a week and a half, and he's very friendly and very, very chatty, and we have this connection. It's really cool. And so I take the elevator to the bottom floor with him, and he's going for lunch. And part of me is like, oh, I could go for lunch with him, and that would be awesome, and that would be sort of the rest of my experience. And there's this deeper voice that says, you're not done here yet. So as we get to the security check, I look at that security check, and I'm like, if I put my visitor pass through that little blob thing, my journey here is done. I am not going to, like, that's it. That's the end of story. So I say to him before we cross it, I'm like, thank you so much for chatting with me. I'm not ready to leave yet. I'm going to go back upstairs. And he kind of like looks at me funny and like, okay, well, I'm going to go for lunch and I'll see you if you're still there, I guess. It's like, yeah. In that moment, I turned around. I walked back to the elevator and pushed the button for the floor. And I made a decision. Made a decision that even if it wasn't going to look exactly like I thought it would still love and appreciate the experience, and I would get as close to it as I possibly could. So in that moment, I'd already been asked not to sit in front of the door. I was planning on like sitting there and just being like, this is Mind Valley head office. Like, okay, doesn't matter to me if I can't see it. I could still be in the vicinity of it. So there's a little alcove that's got two like just normal sort of storm doors. And I sit myself in the center of it and I meditate. And I connect with the energy of the space, which is what I wanted to do. And as I do this, there's this part of me that is sad beyond reason. There's this part of me that says like, you don't deserve to be in there. You don't belong there. You're not good enough to be in there. You're just this little, like, you're just this girl. You didn't even make an appointment. You didn't even, and this nasty, nasty stuff comes in. And so I do my process on it. I cry in the hallway for not being worthy of being inside the building. I have to be outside the building. I'm not good enough. I'm not special enough. I'm not an employee enough to be worthy of being inside the building. And I do my joygasm process on this feeling. Once I finish that, somebody walks by. This guy walks by. And I'm like, oh, he came from the Mind Valley office. Thank you so much for working for Mind Valley. I'm so grateful. You guys have made such an impact in my life. Thank you so much. And I blow kisses at him. He's like, cool, thanks. You're welcome. And keeps walking. Back into, oh my God, I'm here. This is so beautiful. I sat inside the office. It's amazing. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I love this. This is amazing. I'm going to sit here for the next 6 hours. Just soak it up and say thank you to everybody. I'm still going to get to say thank you to them. Even though I'm not inside the office, I'm still going to get to say thank you. Because they're going to leave. Everybody who leaves, I'm going to tell them thank you. Yay! I still get to be true in my intent of expressing gratitude. Another person comes out. He's cute as all get up. And I was like, damn, sweet. I was like, shh. Thank you so much for working at Mind Valley. You've made an amazing impact in my life. I'm so grateful. Thank you. He goes, who are you? We have a little bit of a conversation. I introduced myself. He goes, I'm just going for lunch, but are you going to be here when I get back? I was like, yeah, probably. He's like, just stay put. I'll come back. Like, ooh, I have a date. I have like a conversation to have on the way back. That's exciting. I have power and purpose to stay here now. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I feel the vibe of the space. I feel the consciousness. I feel the hum of people in collaboration working together on something. Whew, juicy. Okay? In this space of gratitude, of appreciation, and a third person walks out of the space. And I do my spiel. I say, thank you. He kind of laughs and keeps walking. And then he turns around and comes back. And he looks at me and goes, can I help you with something? Yeah. I mean, my name's Elena, and I came here to express gratitude, and I would love to just sit in the lobby and just be awesome. And, if I could see the Hall of Awesomeness, that would be amazing. He looks at me, he's like, I could probably help with that. Let me go ask somebody. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. Just to be clear, just like so you don't get in trouble and whatnot, like they've already asked me to leave. That's why I'm sitting in the hallway. He's kind of like laughs at me. It's like, he's like, yeah, well, I'll go check. So he goes in. I'm like, oh my God. I'm back in this place of like heightened, crazy possibility where like my body is again going into this place of like overwhelmed shock at how amazing things are. And I'm like, integrate that shit, girl. Integrate that. This is normal. Yes, you may well get a tour. You may well get, but like calm down. You need to be coherent. This is normal. This is normal. This kind of magic is normal. This kind of magic is normal. Okay? Integrate. He comes back out. He goes, yeah, I checked with somebody. They seem fine with it as long as it's my time that I'm taking. And I've got some time to take you around. I'll take you to go see the whole office. The whole office? Oh my God. So we go in. I see the lobby. We walk around the corner. This is the something team. I don't even remember. This is the marketing team. This is the development team. And anybody who looks up from that space, I'm just like, thank you for working at Mind Valley. You've changed my life so much. Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing in the world. And they kind of laugh. Some people get up and give me hugs. Some people just keep working. But I'm able to express, and I'm like, this is what I'm here for. I'm here today to be the director of gratitude in this space. To be, if I worked here, this is what I would love to do, is to just spew forth gratitude and appreciation upon people over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm like so excited that I'm jumping in circles and just like, yee! And the guy who's walking me around is so gracious and so grateful and so amused by my pleasure. And so, just casually bringing me through the different places and showing me the different things that are happening. And this is this office and this is this office. And then we go, he's like, yeah, that's everything on this floor. Do you want to see the other floors? I was like, oh my God, there's other floors. I got to see everything. I got to see the wall, the biggest vision board wall, and read some of the hopes and dreams of the people who work there. I got to be in the Hall of Awesomeness. There's a picture of me being like, yeah, I'm here. Smaller than I thought it would be. They use a fancy camera angle on the picture that they show on the site, so it looks bigger. I got to see the cave, or something he called it like that, which is the space in the building they have where they put up on the wall when anybody accomplishes things from that vision board, from that dream board, they put it up on the wall to celebrate. Like, yes, we accomplished these things. These things did come true. And I was like, I would put my, I made it to Mind Valley on this wall, right now. I did that energetically. I was like, yeah, I made it. I got to see the tech squad. This beautiful, amazing, cartooned, poster, that all steampunked, office for the tech guys. And again, just express gratitude and hugs and kisses for everybody. Grateful for the experience of being here. It was so magical. When we're done with the tour of the building, there's part of me that recognizes that this may be the end of the journey. And I've already been blown wide open past I only wanted to sit in the lobby. I've just had a tour, a personalized tour, and gotten to kiss and hug so many people from this space and say thank you to them. Like, this is beyond my wildest dreams at this point. Absolutely beyond my wildest dreams. And and so he brings me back to sit in the lobby. And I'm like, he's like, what do you want to do now? I was like, I mean, I would just love to sit here and just soak up the vibes of the space for the rest of the day. I mean, I'm leaving. My flight's at 8 o'clock. If I could sit here until 6, that would be fantastic. That would be amazing. I would love to do that. That's it. Nobody has to take care of me, anything like that. I just want to sit here. And he goes, well, let me just check with the same woman who had asked me to leave the first time. And I'm like, oh no, that's not a good sign. I mean, she already asked me to leave once. She's going to ask me to leave again. And so he goes to go ask her. And I'm just soaking up the space. Like, truly, I don't know if I've ever had such a contented, meditative space inside of me. My dreams have all come true. That every dream I had for this experience, I've overcome so much to get here. And here I am, and it's true. And as I'm sitting there in this space, I open my eyes. And like 4 seconds after I open my eyes, Vishen walks into the room. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Vishen! Not out loud, just inside. And I'm like, excuse me, Vishen. And he stops and turns around. I was like, hi, my name's Elena Harder, and I've kind of snuck into your building today because I just want to express gratitude to everybody who works here. And that means especially you, because you have really made such an impact on my life. And he kind of looks, I was like, can I give you a hug? He's like, yeah. So I give him a hug. And after I give him a hug, you can just see that he's like sort of melted in it. I was like, I know you're really busy. All I want to do is sit in the lobby for the next couple of hours and just really soak up the vibe. Is that okay? He goes, yeah. I was like, thank you so much. Enjoy your day. The whole thing was probably less than a minute, maybe 45 seconds max. But I had the permission that I needed now to stay in the space. I sit back down and like, oh my God, I just hugged Vishen. And I got a tour, and I got my picture taken at the Hall of Awesomeness, and I made it here, and I didn't die, and I found my way, and my passport got taken back. All of this. Oh my God. So the guy who gave me the tour and the woman who initially asked me to leave come back into the space, and she's got this. And I'm like, I don't think they're going to let me stay. But as soon as they start talking, I was like, I saw Vishen. He said I could stay. And there was this instant transformation of like, oh, Vishen said so. Okay. And so they check in on me. Do you need anything? You know, there's water. Bathrooms are here. Do you need anything? And everybody is so graceful and kind, you know. I think over the course of the next couple of hours that I sat there, I had probably a dozen people like, can I get you something? Do you need some water? Do you need anything? Are you hungry? I'm like, no. Truly, I am living and vibing off of joy right now and appreciation. And I'm so grateful. So my intent was purely to sit in that space. While I was sitting there, I wrote a couple of love letters, of thank you notes to the people who had helped me, you know, the guy who gave me the tour, the man who chatted with me in the elevator, and anybody else who had given me their name and taken the time to talk with me. I was like, I'm just going to express gratitude and share a little love note with them. Sort of with the little eye of like, if I do have an interview here, like they'll remember me more. But yeah, a little bit. I got to be honest about that. I want to make an impression. I want to make an impression on people because I don't know what's going to come of this experience, and I just want to be of service in this space as much as I possibly can. Probably half hour, 45-minute later, 3 or 4 people come out into the lobby like, hey, we've heard about you. You're the gratitude girl. I'm like, yeah. That's me, I guess. They're like, you're also Barbara. I'm like, well, my name's Elena. I was like, who's Barbara? They're like, Barbara's our avatar. I'm like, oh, yeah, totally, I am. I mean, like, I'm one of your clients. They're like, we don't get a chance to talk to our clients, like, in person very often. Can we talk to you? Can we ask you some questions? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like, I would love to do that. So they asked me some questions, and there's this one woman who I'm like, oh my God, I mean, I applied to work here a couple weeks ago, and she's the woman who would be my boss. She's like in charge of content, like course creation, and she would be my head honcho lady, you know? And it was, she looks at me, she's like, I'm on my way out to run an errand, but when I come back, do you want to go out for lunch and I'll just ask you some more questions? I'm like, going out for lunch with the lady who might be my boss? Oh my God. So she goes, I sit, I bask some more, and she eventually comes back, and we do go out for lunch, and she asks me all sorts of amazing questions, and I ask her all sorts of questions. She tells me what it's like to be working there, to be living there, what is her experience, and in that conversation, it became really clear to me that I didn't want to work at Mindvalley. I mean, I had thought I might for years and years and years, but truly, it's not that I don't want to work at Mindvalley, it's that I didn't want to live in Kuala Lumpur. Because I've hit the epitome of my lifestyle in Bali. Like, that is like beautiful be-all, end-all of how I want to be living. And to live in a cramped city, and an Asian city, which is different than a Canadian city, because there's a level of like clean that unless you're in Singapore, it just doesn't happen unless you're in the Western world. And I was like, so it was beautiful because it became really clear for me that, in fact, I don't want to work for this company. And that if I want to be in this kind of atmosphere, I need to create this kind of company. And there was a huge amount of power that came back to me in that experience because I had been operating from this space, and she called me on it, of like, I didn't feel like I was capable of creating something as large, as big, as creative in the world as Mindvalley is on my own. It's true. You need other people. But to be the leader of that, I didn't feel like I had the capacity for that. So after lunch, I returned to the office and returned to sit in the lobby and integrate and spend time integrating, like, how is it that I don't believe I'm capable of that? And that was such a powerful process. The guy who had originally met me in the elevator came with his laptop and worked in the lobby with me. He was working on whatever it is that he was working on, and just came and sat with me just to keep me company because he didn't feel it was right for me to be there by myself. I recorded some videos and spent time there, and just, I mean, 6 hours went by. And before the 6 hours went by, there was this amazing experience where, again, that guy who had been in the lobby was there and having a meeting with somebody else. And they were like, oh yeah, Vishen will be here in 5 minutes. Tony was like, oh my God, Vishen is going to be in the room with me. And indeed, he came and was in the room, and they had probably a 45-minute meeting. And it was a fantastic experience to get to witness who he was in that leadership role and how did he have a meeting. And the biggest piece I took away from that was that I have struggled in the past with telling people, you did this wrong, you need to do it differently. It needs to get fixed now. I don't care whose fault or responsibility it is, but it needs to be fixed. And that is a space in leadership where I have been weak and where I have not had the strength to really fix things. I just like, oh, well, it's okay. Or I'll just fix it myself. And it's like, here's a man who doesn't have the time or it's not his job to fix it. That's why he has a team. And I'm like, but I haven't been able to utilize my leadership with my team at that level. So I spent quite a bit of time, again, in that place of like, woo, like overwhelm, intensity, and like integrating that, and then coming into space with him. Coming into harmony and resonance where I've recognized that there are a few tweaks that need to be made, and I'm not yet where he is, but that and that was such a powerful integration for me. As time rolls on, it's approaching 6 o'clock, and I can feel that I don't want to leave. I've so enjoyed this experience, and I'm not ready to leave yet, but I do need to go catch my flight. And so I sort of dawdle between 6 and 6:30, and then the man who had originally I'd taken the elevator down with the first time when I decided, no, I'm not done with this experience yet, he comes into the room and says, oh, I'm going home now. You want to chat on the way down? And I'm like, yes. This is my time to leave. So once again, I got to take the elevator with him, and I experienced this profound sense of deja vu, of knowing deeply that if I had not followed my intuition and my certainty that that experience was not complete the first time I'd ridden the elevator down with him, that none of that would have happened. My courage to say, I'm not done with this experience yet, allowed me to come back and to re-enter that whole magical experience that happened in the afternoon. And so I really, like, I love the feeling of deja vu in that place of like overlaying it and letting it flow through and being like, they changed something. Thank you. From the Matrix. So he goes his way and I go my way and I go catch a train. Before I catch a train, there's a fruit stall there that I had thought about maybe getting some fruit on my way. And I'm like, I already have stuff in my bag. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get a fruit cup. And I'm like, nah, that's okay. I have stuff in my bag. I don't need a fruit cup. And as I make that decision and turn away, there's 3 guys and they're like, oh, you're the gratitude girl from the office today. I'm like, yeah, I recognize you guys. You work at Mind Valley. And they're like, yeah, we came down for a snack and we brought you this fruit cup. And I'm just like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. Like, holy magic, Batman. I literally was just like, oh, I don't have to buy myself a fruit cup. And it's like, boom, fruit cup right there. Like, holy flow. Am I in flow? This is like magic and miracles up the wazoo. So I give them all big hugs. Like, thank you so much, guys. That's so kind of you. Just overwhelmed by the kindness and the generosity of the human spirit. And so I hop on the train, eat my fruit cup, and just reflect on the experience. I've got about half an hour on the train before I head back, chat with some people, and eventually hop on the plane. No, go through security and get ready to hop on the plane. I'm so full of love. I'm so full of joy. And I'm thinking about, okay, so my vision and my version of myself as vision in the world is joygasm. What do I need to really bring that into the world? Who do I need to be? How do I need to be in the world? How can I embody that leadership that I really felt from him to be that and to bring this message to the world? And I was like, I'd really loved this couple that I met in Ubud about this, because I know that she has this interest in sexuality and healthy conscious sexuality, and he has this like strong marketing background and also background in tantra and relationships, and I would love to talk to them and just like I'll get a hold of them when I get back to Bali and chat with them. And so I'm walking through the airport. Get this. I can't even believe this one. It's like, I mean, I know there were so many miracles, but it's just like, are you kidding me? Seriously? So there's this giant writing on the wall that says Curiouser and Curiouser. And I look at the wall and I'm like, I want to take a picture of that because I'm going to like post it on Facebook or share it somewhere. So I go and I like get ready to like get my camera out and take the picture. And the woman of the couple that I wanted to talk with walks into my line of sight. And I stop and I give her this big hug and I'm like, I was just thinking about you and how much I wanted to see you guys. And she laughs and I laugh and we chat for a bit. And I was like, we gotta go get some snacks, take a picture of the thing, go get some snacks, come back, chat with them. And I'm just like overwhelmed at the magic of it all. I can hear, I know I'm gonna drive back to Ubud at the end of the day, and I hear her speak some fears about what might happen if she drives at night. And I recognize that I don't hold those fears inside of myself and that I will be beautifully taken care of. It's beautiful to do that. You journey back, hop off the airplane, go to the bathroom, and as I'm going to the bathroom, I'm like, gotta get my keys. And I pull my keychain, which is on a carabiner that I clip to the outside of my backpack, and I look at my keys, and I'm like, there's only one key on my keychain, and it's for my house. Fuck. So now, after this giant adventure of amazing synchronicity and flow, I'm like, holy fuck, I lost my keys. I don't have my keys anymore. I'm like, maybe they're in my backpack. So I go and I empty the whole contents of my backpack onto the countertop, and I'm like, they're not in my backpack. I'm like, fuck. My keys for my motorbike are in Malaysia. They're in Malaysia. How am I gonna get home? And in this moment, I feel the same energy pattern that I had when I lost my passport. And I'm like, this is an opportunity to process that things don't always work out for me. Even when magical fucking amazing things happen, they don't always work out. There's always something that comes in that says, no, fuck you. You don't deserve to be totally happy. And I recognize this pattern as being like deep inside of us. Like I created this. And so I move as I recognize that my keys aren't there. There's part of me that's like, maybe I was really blonde and I left them in the ignition. Cross my fingers, I was dumb and I left them in the ignition. I'm like, ooh, there's that dumb piece again. There's that stupid piece again with that stupid. You gotta work on that. You know, you're not stupid. You're an intelligent person. And as I'm walking, I get about 3/4 of the way to the parking lot for the motorbikes, and my brain is just reeling with like, and then I take a taxi back, and then how do I explain to the lady I rented the bike from that I left the bike at the airport, and how do we get it back, and how do we try to make all of these plans? And it's like, calm down, stop, process. So I stop in the middle of the sidewalk, and I cry for every moment in my life that I felt. So I feel in this moment that all of the things that have happened today mean nothing. None of the progress, none of the beautiful moments. You know, it's that negativity bias comes in and says, you're fucking worthless. You have no idea. When beautiful things happen, it always gets followed by something fucking up. You're stupid. Why did you leave your keys on the outside of your bag? Like, and there's this flashback to like the moment where my keys were hanging on the outside of my backpack on this orange carpet in the head office at Malaysia. And this woman looked at them and like sort of had this moment of like criticism. And I'm like, duh. That rippled forward and like, and created this. I created this. And then I come back to this piece of like, this life journey is not about what happens. It's about the process of processing. It's about the process of claiming my power back from these pieces of disempowerment. This is a beautiful gift. And so I stop in the middle of the sidewalk. I move off to the side a little bit and I cry. I tap into the depth of that sorrow and that experience and that like, fuck, you stupid bitch. Like, how could you leave them on the outside of your, somebody just whooped them off on the train. Like, ah. And I delve into all of that. And when I hit the bottom of it, I do this joygasm piece. I do this joygasm mantras. Like, this is not real. I am the power and presence of joygasm. This is not real. This is an illusion here to serve me for my highest alchemy and good. I feel my power. I claim my power. I feel it flowing back into me. I feel it surging through me. And the intensity in my body in that moment is fantastic. It's beautiful. I can feel all of this stupid bitch turn into, it's all okay. And like, hope comes in. Maybe I just left my keys in the ignition. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. So in this place of expectation, I walk up to my bike. I find my bike. My helmet's still there. When I left my bike, I was like, I can't like connect my helmet in. I was like, my helmet was still there. It was okay. The keys are not in the ignition. And so I moved back into this place of panic of like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get home? Well, I'll take a taxi cab. I don't want to take a taxi cab. Then my bike's in like an hour away and it's in the parking, blah, blah, blah. Stop. Claim power back. It's okay. It'll somehow work out. Like, you know, that's worst case scenario, they take a taxi back and then figure it out. Worst case. It's okay. It'll be okay. So what do I do next? Well, I wander over to the exit booth where the guy who like takes your money on the way out or lets you out. I go over to where he is. And in my, again, non-existent Indonesian and his, like, way worse than the other experience, English, I sort of go like, key? I lost my key. I don't know where it is. Like, one key, but I need 2 keys. Where's my bike key? Like, maybe I left my key in the ignition and they took it out for me because they're kind-hearted individuals. And he kind of like looking at me like, I don't know. And I was like, vroom, vroom, like motorbike, like key. Where is it? And he kind of goes, oh, clicks in. And he hands me this bucket with a bunch of keys in it, like probably 30 keys. And I'm like, oh, all the people who've forgotten their keys. Maybe one of them will start my bike. I'm from Canada. In Canada, only the key that starts your car starts your car. Only the key that starts opens your door, opens your door. And I'm like, well, you know, magic being what it is, let's give it a try. So I go back over, I'm like, how do I organize all this? I like put my helmet there as a container, and one at a time, I try these keys. And it's like, nope, doesn't fit, nope, doesn't start, nope, turns, but doesn't turn on anything, nope, nope, and drop them into the helmet as I'm done. And then I kind of stop, I'm about a quarter of the way through, and I'm like, I'm holding all of these keys and one key in my left hand. Like, what happens if I try the one key? So take the one key, put it in the ignition, turn it, and the lights turn on. It's like, I'm gonna get to drive home. Yeah! I don't even really know how this is possible. My Western brain, like, does not compute, but I don't care. So I take the rest of the keys, put them back in, make sure the bike starts. I'm like, it turns on, but does it start? Yes, it starts. Okay, turn it back off. Bring the keys back to the guy. Say thank you. And now there's another person who is, you know, leaving. And I'm like, I tell him the story quickly of like what happened. He's like, oh yeah. I mean, really, you can just use anything that's metal. I'm like, are you serious? So there's this beautiful confirmation piece of, even though I did find the right key, as soon as I found the right key, the information was passed to me anyway. This person who was parked right next to me would have been able to give me that information, that that other key would have worked, or that something, there was some sort of solution. And it was the second time that this had happened. Like right after I found the taxi that was like, yes, you're on path to the airport, within 50 meters of that taxi, there was a sign that said airport. And I'm like, that was the first sign along the way, you know? So again, there was this like duplicity of, once I moved into that place of calm, relaxation, yes, it's all going to work out, the energy was aligned, and then the signs were able to come through. The energy was aligned, and then this message that, yes, regardless, you're going to be able to find a key that will let you, like, go, came through. Recognizing the illusion of it, the perfection of it, the taken caredness of it. So I hop on my bike, and again, I'm in this space with the GPS map of like, I'm not really sure how to get where I'm going, but I'll follow the straight line. I'm like, I've done this before. It'll be good. I'll be able to get back. Like, I have a pretty good sense of direction. Once I get there, I'll be able to get back. And it's fascinating. It's like 11 o'clock at night. It's pitch dark again. There's nobody on the roads again. And it's this like reverse deja vu of driving back. And again, I'm like, yeah, that was an amazing day. I freaking rock. I can't believe I went to Mind Valley. So many things went wrong, but so many things went right. And I'm amazing, and I'm so grateful, and I'm so happy that this has worked, you know? So excited. And it's beautiful because as this whole hour-long journey of driving back happens, I watched as still, yet again, I mean, even after all of those experiences that could have gone wrong, that went right, that allowed me to live like the dream day of my life, even after all of those yes experiences, I still had this pattern of doubt creep in. What if I run out of gas? What if I make a wrong turn? What if I don't make it back? What if something bad happens? You know, as I'm looking for a place to like put gas in, and I can't find one. There's this voice in my head that says like, you're going to run out of gas and you're going to get stuck here. And it's like, after all of the things that happened today, you still there? Go away. Shh. Did you see today? Did you see today? Are you serious? Shh. And I was able to sort of like again, yet again, I'm amazed at the human experience and our ability to doubt, our ability to, even in the face of overwhelming proof of the fact that we're taken care of, yet again, yet again, yet again, to have this space of fear and contraction come in. And again, it wasn't until I saw a sign that said Ubud this way that I felt confident. It wasn't until, even then, it wasn't until, because I saw this gas fear, it wasn't until that last moment where I saw a sign that said this building 200 meters that way. And I'm like, that building's near my house. And I began to actually recognize things around me that I was able to actually feel and know that I was going to make it home okay. And I did. I made it home okay. It was amazing. And all of these things, from losing, not from giving my passport away in the very first piece, to getting my passport back, to like not knowing where I was going and still somehow managing to make all the right turns, my helmet flying off, to finding that taxi, to not knowing how to get to Mine Valley headquarters, to getting there, being so close and not knowing which building it was in or which floor it was on, to trusting my intuition, that blonde woman, and knowing, and then she gave me the right answer, to not being able to get in the door and then being able to get in the door, to being denied the experience of being in the space and then trusting myself to go back and following that pureness of intent, following that pure intent to bring this joy and this gratitude to people, to the payoff that had, that was the whole 6-hour experience, to losing and leaving my key in Malaysia and still having the bike show up, still being able to drive. And when I got home that evening, I reflected on every single one of those things and spent time really ingraining it into my brain that, like, yes, that was the least planned, most extravagant, crazy adventure I had ever gone on. And it went 1,000 times more powerfully beautiful than I had ever expected. And I was in so much gratitude for that experience. Now, get this. On top of that, a couple of days later, I get a reminder email from Mine Valley about Awesomeness Fest. Now, I've already applied for Awesomeness Fest, and they already sent me my sorry you didn't get in letter, which, in truth, part of me was expecting, because when I looked at the bios of the people who were going to be there, there was a huge unworthiness. It took me 3 weeks to fill out the application, to get up the courage to be like, yes, I deserve to fill out the application. This was in the spring. I love myself way more than that now. And so in that moment, I get another reminder like, hey, we still have spaces to apply. And I'm like, I already applied, guys. And I did not get in. And I'm like, but you know what I did do? A couple of weeks ago, I had this brainstorm come through that said, they're missing out on marketing to all of these people like me who got in but didn't, who applied but didn't get in. I'm like, there's like 3,000 of us that apply and only 300, 400 people who get in. Like, that's 2,500 people who are being continued to market to but not being marketed to. So I typed up like a one-pager of like, this is what I would do. I would create these events, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and this is what I would do. And so, again, from this space of courage and service, I sent an email to Vishen, and I said, I didn't get in, that's okay, here are my ideas, and then at the bottom, 2 paragraphs that just said, talked a little bit, briefly, about how grateful I was for the experience of having been at the head office and how grateful I was for everybody there, and naming some of the people who had made a really big impact in my experience there. And I sent it off, like, just wanting to give them that information of like, you're missing out on this opportunity, go run for it. 3 days go by, and I'm checking my email, and I see that I have an email in my inbox from Vishen. I'm just like, oh my God. he replied to my email. Wow. It took me a full 12 hours to integrate to the point where I was able to open that email. And when I opened that email, it said, "Hey Elena, sorry you didn't get in. We would like to extend this invitation because you were at the head office to attend Awesomeness Fest this year." Let me tell you, I did some jumping, I did some dancing, I did some holy fucking, and then I integrated and was like, this is what happens when you show up from a place of service. This is what happens when you show up in pure intent. The magic of that day has rippled forward into my life. And I now have the opportunity to attend one of the highlight experiences that I have dreamed about going to since I first came into my awareness. I'm going to A-Fest, baby. It took me another 2 days to accept that I was worthy enough. I went back and I read the list of people who were showing up, and I was like, I don't feel like I'm on that level. And I have a ticket to go. And I deserve to be there. And I am worthy. It's been one of the most powerful experiences of my life to integrate that I deserve to be there. That I have something powerful to offer. And now I am setting this pure, powerful intent that I'm going to A-Fest to provide the most powerful launch experience for Joygasm that I could possibly imagine. This ticket was a result of my dedication to processing and to being in joy during the process. And nothing but spectacular amazingness beyond my wildest dreams can possibly come from this experience. I'm so honored and I'm so excited to attend. And this is the magic that is possible when you follow that impulse, when you follow that joy, when you listen to your intuition and you move forward from that place and from a place of gratitude and from a place of expression and a place of expression of gratitude and expression of joy and expression of love. And you have the courage to be crazy, to be seen as over the top, overwhelming, amazing. I don't know if Vishen talked to people. I don't know if he remembers meeting me. But if I hadn't had the courage to go on that crazy adventure, none of this would have happened. And I'm so grateful. And I'm looking forward to blogging and to sharing and to expressing the amazingness that is life and that is my Joygasmic life more and more and more with you. And if you made it to the end of this, like, I'm so grateful to you for watching this entire video. So grateful and so inspired, in fact, that I would like to invite you into the Joygasmic Life 6-week startup kit. The 6-week experience that will activate you and give you the tools that you need to really start living this Joygasmic life, from living from this place of incredible magic and flow. This is my invitation to you. You've just spent the last hour and a half of your life listening to me yammer, tell a story. And it is my intention and my gift to honor you for this by giving you free access to that 6-week course. To do that and to register for that, head over to Joygasm, JOYGASM.me/yes33, and you will be able to claim your invitation to this course. Woo! I honor you. I'm grateful for you. And I hope that this story has impacted you. I would love to hear how this is changed you, how this has impacted you, please feel free to reply in the comments below, or head over to joygasm.me and go to the contact page and tell me a little story about how this video has been powerful for you. I love you immensely, 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 immensely. And I'm so honored for this journey in life. Thank you.